knows that he or she has to, do things, and only then he or she will be loved. Yeah, that is what these kids grow up with, this belief inside of them, that if they do certain things in a certain way, they would be loved, and if they don't, there is no love for them. They won't be seen and heard. Yeah. Hello everyone, I hope everyone is doing good and taking good care of themselves. So today I'm going to talk about different ways narcissistic parents misuse their kids. And before I get going, I would request you all to like, share, subscribe the channel, hit the notification bell so you guys are updated whenever we put out a new content. So as we know, these narcissistic parents don't see their kid as individual being. Yeah, they see their kid as an extension of themselves. These narcissistic parents are very controlling. They decide anything and everything, related to their kid, what the kid needs to think, what the kid needs to do, who the kid needs to marry, when the kid needs to breed, and whatnot. The list goes on. So the kids are like a supply, like an unpaid laborer who is supposed to do anything and everything what the parent, wants out of them. I mean, that's how things are with these narcissistic parents. They lack empathy. They really don't care what the kid is, feeling or going through on the inside. As long as the kid is able to give them what they want out of them, okay. The moment kid says no, I may not, I might not be able to, or all of these things, you know what comes next? Narcissistic rage, silent treatment, stonewalling, manipulation, gaslighting. The list goes on. These narcissistic parents, they literally trap their kids, yeah, because they have created them. They feel entitled and they don't consider them as individual being, with their individual, mind and conscious. They think that they are a part of them, and they need to do exactly the way how they want, them to do, these narcissistic parents. So these narcissistic parents, they keep the kids on hook. They know how to manipulate, gaslight, and get things done. Yeah, they don't let their kid, outgrow them. They always keep manipulating, their kid. They always keep gaslighting their kid to be, under their control, to be surrounded by them. Yeah, narcissists really don't like when their kids, go out and settle and become independent. The narcissists want their kids to be codependent on them. Yeah, and they do a lot of things to put this in play. They gaslight the kid that you are not being good enough. They tell the kid that, hey, I've done so much for you. Uh, Now it's your time to do for me. So, payback reminders, manipulation, guilt tripping. There is too many things that these narcissists, do with their kids to keep them on hook. Yeah, to keep that servant laborer, on duty. Yeah, and they don't hesitate in this entire process of controlling their kids and manipulating them and gaslighting them. These narcissistic parents even land up, ruining the kids' social circle, kids' friends, kids' spouse relation, all of that. They destroy anything and everything that is related to the kid. Why? Because the more the kid is dependent on the parent, the better it is for the narcissistic parents. Yeah, the more the kid is dependent on them, it's absolutely fine, no red flags. But if the kid is having friend, if the kid is having a spouse who is not buying, the narcissistic parents shit, they feel threatened, they feel insecure. So, then they bring in their flying monkeys, then they bring in their enablers, and everyone creates that pressure. Yeah, so slowly the kid, gets away from his social circles. Slowly the kid, gets away from his friends. Slowly, the relationship between the kid and his or her spouse gets bitter. I mean, in some cases the spouse runs away. Who's going to put up with the neurotic shit show of these narcissists? So they dump these adult children of the narcissists. Other healthy individuals, they really can't put up with all of this. Yeah, all of this control, all of this manipulation, gaslighting. These narcissistic parents are very damaging for their children. These narcissistic folks, they don't have sex and reproduce for a better generation, a better future, and all of that. They don't do that. They do it so that they can have a lifetime supply. They do it so that they can have a servant at their disposal 24/7, 365 days. They do it so that they can have a staff, a laborer who is unpaid but permanent. Yeah, that is how sick and damaging these narcissistic parents are. These narcissistic parents, they use guilt and shame to groom their kids. Yeah, so that the kids keep their needs aside. The kids don't prioritize their needs, likes, dislikes, preference. Yeah, the kid only prioritizes the parents likes, dislikes, needs and wants and preference. Yeah, so these narcissistic parents, you can say they manipulate and condition their kid to always prioritize the narcissistic parent and not themselves. Yeah, these kids, they really lack sense of self because of all this manipulation and conditioning. They are trained to just prioritize their parents, and that's it. Yeah, they are trained just to serve their parent and to suppress their feeling, emotion, never prioritizing themselves, their self-care. No, they are not allowed to do all of that. Yeah, all what they are allowed to do is to serve the parent and make them happy. On and off, the parents are going to give a tiny bit of this validation, but it's not a regular thing. Yeah, once in a blue moon, they're going to say, "Oh, thank you so much. Oh, okay, that's nice. Thank you. You did quite well," and that's it. Yeah, and the kid then thinks that, okay, I'm getting this tiny bit of validation. Let me do more and more and more, and the kid goes on doing things, but he or she never gets that supply on a regular basis. Yeah, because the supply dynamic is opposite. Yeah, the kid is the supply and the kid has to do things for the parent. The parent doesn't have to do the things for the kid. They have done the drill, they had sex, they bred, they had the kid, they raised him, paid for his education. But why did they do all of that? They did do all of that just to get an unpaid labor in the house. Yeah, they really don't care what the kid is feeling on the inside. And these kids, I mean, when they grow up to be adult, these kids really don't know what a healthy relationship is. And these kids go on doing the same thing in hopes to please their partner. The same thing these kids were doing to please their parent, these kids do the same thing uh, with their partner. And a healthy individual would want reciprocity. Yeah, equal reciprocity, but that is not there. The kid knows that he or she has to do things and only then he or she will be loved. Yeah, that is what these kids grow up with, this belief inside of them, that if they do certain things in a certain way, they would be loved, and if they don't, there is no love for them. They won't be seen and heard. Yeah, it's very damaging, it's very toxic, but that's who these narcissists are. These narcissistic parents, they train their kids to shapeshift from an early age. And how do they do that? They do it with passive aggression, silent treatment, they throw rage. Yeah, they might get physically violent. Yeah, these narcissistic parents are very fond of hitting their children, slapping their children, beating them, and mistreating them. In some cases, of course, these narcissistic parents, they get into other forms of abuse as well. But in general, these narcissistic parents do get physically violent with their kids because they take their kids for granted. It's something they have created and they have got all the rights. They feel entitled. They can do anything with their kids, whether it's beating, whether it's praising. They can do anything and everything. And with time, these things have been appropriated culturally. I mean, if you object on these things, other enablers and narcissistic parents might come and defend that, no, no, we did it for the kids' greater good. I mean, what good are you doing by beating the crap out of a small little child? But that's how things are. Now, of course, with awareness, things are changing, but the narcissists are going to be the way they are. Yeah, they are never going to change. Time is going to change, things are going to change, people are going to change, but narcissists are going to be narcissists. Yeah. So these narcissistic parents, with the help of rage, guilt, manipulation, shame, they train their kid to shapeshift. Yeah, because we need to understand that these narcissists, they hate authenticity. Authenticity, enrages them. These narcissists are scared of authenticity, because if you're being authentic, one fine day you might become independent, and one fine day you might just outgrow. They don't want all of that. They want their product that they have created to be with them, to keep serving them till their last breath. After that, what happens? Who cares? That's how selfish these narcissistic parents are. So yes, these narcissistic parents train their kids to shapeshift. So the kid is all the time, trying to adjust and change and shapeshift, so that I will be loved, so that I will be seen and heard, so that I will be appreciated. Yeah. So there is a lot of pressure. The kid is not accepted the way how he is on the inside, or she is on the inside. The kid has to morph. The kid has to shapeshift. Yeah, as per the narcissistic parents' need. Yeah, then a tiny bit of crumb will be thrown to keep him on hook. But you need to understand that this constant shape shifting is basically making the kid lose his or her sense of self. He's unable to develop that. Yeah, he's always trying to be, the way how the parent wants them to be. There is this authentic self inside that is being crushed, invalidated by these parents, minimized, ridiculed by these parents, and the kid has to be the way how the parent wants them to be. And no sense of self, lack of self-esteem, zero confidence. I mean, it's very damaging, and the damage, begins from childhood. Yeah. So that's how toxic these families are, where one or both the parents are narcissists. These kids learn to shapeshift. Some of them learn to become invisible. They don't want to become an impediment. Yeah, they don't want to be someone who causes trouble to their parent. Yeah, they will not resist. They will be happy with whatever, things are being thrown at them. Yeah, these kids, they don't resist. They are like those, peacekeepers. Yeah. And these kids almost become invisible in the family. They just do what the parent wants, and that's it. They are happy with whatever is thrown at them, and that's it. These kids, forget a sense of self. They really don't argue, question, or express their views and opinion. They just follow the order, and they are just there. When you have narcissistic parents don't hesitate in making you realize that you are an inconvenience. If you are not of use to them, they are going to make sure that they are going to tell you that you are an inconvenience to them. Yeah, you are a burden to them, and they really don't hesitate. A healthy parent will never say such things to the kid. Yeah, because the kid is out of love. Yeah, it's a family, and everyone has a role to play. That's how things are, when we look at the healthy family. But when we look at families with narcissistic parents, uh, if you don't do the things, the way how the narcissistic parent wants you to do, they are going to immediately tell you that, hey, now you're being an inconvenience. Why the hell did I give birth to you? I mean, you're just useless, you hardly listen to me. They don't hesitate in making you feel miserable. They don't hesitate in letting you know loud and clear that you are worthless, you are useless, you are an inconvenience. You are an inconvenience in my life. Yeah. And what do you do then? You feel miserable, you sulk, you cry, and all of this thing is happening, from an early, age. So you get acclimated to it. Yeah, that if you are not being productive, if you are not being of some use to the parent is going to remind you, the parent is going to tell you that you are an inconvenience, you're useless, you're worthless, you're a burden, you are an extra mouth to feed. Yeah, these parents don't hesitate in, saying all these things in nasty ways to their kids. That's how damaging these narcissistic parents are. So the next thing that you can observe with these narcissistic parents is that they use a lot of this guilt tripping, shame, you know, and they use all of this to give you payback reminders. Yeah, the moment they see that you're trying to become a little independent, the moment they see you are making good money, the moment they see that you can get more things on the table, they are going to throw these payback reminders. I suffered so much because of you, I carried you 9 months, I did this for you, I did that for you, your father did this for you and that for you. Why these things are said? These things are said to keep you reminded that you have to do things in return. You have to get to that even point, but that even point never comes. Trust me, you never reach that even point. Yeah, you have to go on doing. They'll go on siphoning things from you. They'll go on exploiting you, and there is never a time where the parents will say, oh, you have done enough for me, we are even now. Yeah, so these parents are very materialistic, these parents are very transactional, selfish, greedy. They will use guilt and shame to keep you on hook. They will use guilt and shame to pass across these payback reminders. So these narcissistic parents, they're big time into giving this payback reminder. They might have done some tiny bit for you, but what they want in return is this much. Yeah, they might have given you a below average childhood. Yeah, but when they see that you are able to make more money, you are becoming independent, you are happy, and you might outgrow, they are going to start giving you these reminders, payback reminder. They really don't want good for their children. They just want to siphon, exploit, and abuse their kids. Yeah, so they are big time into giving payback reminders. These narcissistic parents, they might have done bare minimum for you, or maybe the least possible for you, but the return that they want out of you is into 10,000 times. Yeah, that's how selfish and greedy these narcissistic parents are. They'll do one bit and they'll keep on giving you that payback reminder, and in that entire process they are going to get 10,000 times more. These narcissistic parents, they will also at times try and make you feel guilty if you are becoming more independent. If you're not dependent on them, they're going to make you feel more guilty, and they're going to use statements like, well, I never left you when you were a kid. Yeah, so they're going to use all these kind of statements to further gaslight you and guilt trip you. And what do they want in return? If they are using these kind of statements, what do they want in return? They want you to be dependent on them, they want you to be around them. Yeah, they don't want you to have an independent life, they don't want you to have your own personal space where you are happy. Yeah, they want to keep poking you. Yeah, they want to keep making you feel guilty of being independent. Yeah, they are going to tell you, well, we never left you, we took good care of you, see, we made you such a great person, and now we are left alone. Yeah, so they want to have you around. Yeah, they don't want you to become independent and start up your own life. They want to be linked with you. So they might ridicule, they might taunt you for being independent. Look, their son, look, their daughter is all the time around and helping and doing this and that. So the manipulation goes on, the gaslighting goes on, and it's basically to make you feel guilty and ashamed of being independent and staying away from them. That's how abusive, and that's how selfish these narcissistic parents are. You would also observe, when you have narcissistic parents, you would often feel that you are like that circus animal. and your parent is like the ringmaster. Every time you disagree, they are going to hit you. Every time you deny or disagree, they are going to withhold love. Every time you don't do what they want you to do, they are going to make you feel bad. They are going to make sure they make you feel bad. They are going to make sure they will make you feel guilty. When you have narcissistic parents, you are not loved for who you are. Yeah, you have to shape shift, you have to morph, and you just have to be the way how they want you to be. Yeah, and in that process, tiny bit of validation and crumb comes your way or is thrown at you, and that's it. You are never good enough. Remember that. Others kids are good enough, but you are never good enough. So that you keep doing things, to reach a point where things are even, but that point doesn't exist. So when you are with narcissistic parents, you might feel at times that you are in a circus, you are a circus animal, and your parent is a ringmaster. They tell you, now stand up, and you stand up. Now wear this, and you wear this. Now eat this, and you eat this. So you would almost feel as if you had ringmasters and not parents, and you were not kids, but you were like a circus animal. Yeah, you had to do a certain thing a certain way, and then it's fine. And if you fail to do things in a certain way, these ringmasters, these narcissistic parents are going to make sure that you feel bad, you feel guilty. Yeah, you feel ashamed of what you have done. So that is how toxic, abusive, damaging, and dangerous these narcissistic parents are. I mean, we have a huge army of enablers who justify, saying that, oh, the parent had a difficult backstory, maybe that's why the parent was a little abusive, the parent was a little aggressive. You get to hear all of these enabling statements by these enablers, but trust me, a healthy relationship is very different. Yes, there are ups and downs. The healthy relationship is not based on manipulation. The healthy relationship is not based on gaslighting. The healthy relationships are not based on minimization and invalidation. Healthy relationships are where you can, share your vulnerabilities, and it's okay. Nobody misuses it. Yeah, but all of these things only exist in a healthy relationship. When we look at narcissistic relationship, things are very different, very toxic, very destructive, and the effects are very bad. Yeah? So according to me, uh, having a narcissistic parent is more damaging than having a narcissistic spouse. Think about it, and in case if you agree, do comment below, and in case if you disagree, do share in your thoughts as well. So yes, this was all about the different ways these narcissistic parents misuse, exploit, and abuse their kids. And please take care of yourself. Don't ignore the red flags. Stay away from narcissists. Lots of love and blessings to all of you. Bye.